Good morning. Welcome. This is the Great Jew Atheist, and this is podcast number 22. Please comment and like the video, and you can email me at greatjewatheist@gmail.com, greatjewatheist@gmail.com. Tonight's podcast is life, and the subtopic is undoing depression. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about my journey into depression, and I'm going to try to give you my journey out of it. And again, this might not apply to you, but maybe it could help you. These things kind of combine. I list substance abuse first. I list kind of the substances that kind of got me into it. Klonopin, it's a anti-anxiety drug. I was only supposed to take 5 milligrams a day, but I started taking 7 to 8 or 9 milligrams a day, and I would run out towards the end of the month, the 30-day period, and how it would be so I had to go down to 1 milligram, and I get this horrible withdrawal symptoms. And to make it, I started to ratchet up my alcohol intake, bullet number 4, and that started to become 2 or 3 bottles a day, and on the weekends, 3 to 4 bottles a day of wine. So, cocaine had been a problem probably since 2012. I first tried it probably in 1987, tried it again, say like 1998, 1999, didn't really have a problem. Then I started using it a little bit with a new girlfriend in 2008, and then I got the number of her, the delivery guys. I stole it from her phone, and that's when the problem started to begin. I got really heavy into it. I had to ratchet it down a little bit because it became too expensive, but still was expensive, and I eventually got it down to twice a month, but it wasn't good. Ritalin, I had a month's supply, but I used to snort it, and that was my favorite. I used to love that. I mean, I could stay up days on end with that, and the sexual was incredible. I could just, incredible. I can't tell you. And of course, alcohol. Was had a little problem with it. I blacked out a couple of times when I was young, but it was never that bad. And but again, the Klonopin led to the alcohol problems, and so that was the background, and then the job shitstorm happened. So I took this job. I work as an auditor for a state that I'm currently in, New York State, and it wasn't bad for the first, let's say, 6-7 years. It's boring and lonely and stressful. But then in about 2012, 2013, this new boss came, and he's about 6'5", 290 pounds, and 300, probably more, 330 pounds. Who the fuck knows? Never weighed him. And he was a big bully. He used to yell at me. I only came to the office once a month. And he used to yell at me in front of the other employees, and he used to use these coercive tactics. I'm not going to go into it. By the way, another thing, everyone was telling me, oh, yeah, I got a great job. I just get home at 3 o'clock. But you still get 30 emails, and you have to do an hour work, which is really becomes, you really want to do a job well, which I didn't do. 2 to 3 hours. This led to absenteeism, which I was warned of in 2015. And eventually, this year, I admitted to an alcohol problem. And I was put on sick leave without pay for 48 weeks, which was later changed to half pay thanks to my sister. Thinking that I only had no pay without any money saved, I called my friend and I said I was going to jump off the building, and he called my brother, and what happened was there were 6 cops at my door, and I had just drank 2 bottles of wine. I ended up at Hellenish Hospital. Again, my sister came through. They took me to another hospital, Zucker Hospital, where I spent 17 days in a psychiatric ward involuntarily. I was released on August 6, 2018, to go to my sister's house. So that's the journey into depression, and that's where my journey out of it begins. Okay, so undoing the depression. So I spent 1 month and 18 days living in my sister's basement. Now, at the beginning of this, before I got out of the hospital, it didn't look good. I kind of rejected inpatient rehab, which I probably should have taken. It was more, a denial type thing. And I couldn't go back to my apartment because I was a hoarder, and it was a mess. There were mice, there was roaches, it was unlivable. And it's hard. And so my relatives are even nice enough to have the place cleaned out. And they had problems with the co-op, and very anal, retentive people living here, and the board of directors. And it took about a month to get this out. So I stayed at my sister's house in Long Island, and it was a very harrowing experience. My sister, good intentions are paved, whatever the saying is. Good intentions are paved. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, sort of. We just didn't get along, she is kind of set in her ways, and I guess I'm a kind of iconoclast, and we're total opposites in terms of what we believe, our values. I'm a type of person that likes to hash things out. I'm not scared to speak up my mind. Well, she thinks, I'm living in her house, and, shut up, and things like that. And, all my relatives are, I would stay with my other sister one day with my brother, and they're all screaming at me. Like, one brother didn't like the way I was laughing under my breath. And then I go to the bathroom, if I pick something up, I groan. I just do this naturally. I have a hernia or something, who the fuck knows? And, 1 week, they just kept on blowing up at me, and I was ready to go back to the psychiatric ward, okay? The one good thing came out of it, living with my sister, and by the way, my brother-in-law was great. He was the best person all this time, but he even blew up at me, so there must be something to me that fucks people up, probably Asperger's syndrome, which I have, but I think I have a light case. I'm not that bad, but you don't know. That's a problem with this disease. You don't know when you have it, this disorder. But living with them, even though they still they probably had a PTSD with me there, I did learn new skills. I saw how they operate, how they keep the place clean, how they throw out the garbage, do the dishes, things like that, which I don't like to do. I learned new skills, how to clean up, do the laundry, etc., etc., etc. So, little by little, even though I was still lazy, lying in bed, I like to sleep late. I wake up in the morning, go back to sleep, lie in bed all day. It's getting better, little by little it's getting better. Now, I actually, when you are in bad depression, and I was reading also, doing some research, this is true with benzodiazepines, when you're hooked on them, you get this disorder that many people call laziness, but there's actually a disorder called a psychomotor retardation. It has nothing to do, maybe it is mental retardation, but people commonly call it laziness. And basically, it's you find everything extremely difficult to do, even the simplest tasks. The best example is doing your laundry. Okay, so you go say, oh shit, the clothing's piled up. I don't have any clothing to do. I better do my laundry. Okay, so I say, oh shit, I don't have any laundry detergent. So now I'm in Forest Hills. I got to go up the hill and get laundry detergent. Oh, fucking pain in the ass. I got to walk up this big hill and I got to the supermarket. I got to wait online. I got to pay. I got to get there. Okay, so I do that. Oh shit, now I got to get all the laundry. I got to put it in a bag. I got to, and then now I got to take the fucking laundry. I got to go downstairs, and there could be people, and I hate that. When you go to laundry, some asshole takes up, there's like six washing machines, and some asshole takes up 5 of them, and there's one person, he takes one more, and then you have no place to put the laundry. You gotta wait, and they leave their clothes in, and oh shit, and that happens, and now you're really fucking, and sometimes you think, let me do this is a good time to do the laundry, and of course it's the worst time to do the laundry. You figured out Sunday night is the worst time to do the laundry because of course everyone procrastinates and they wait. So what appears to be just an unpleasant task becomes a Herculean task, and this becomes everything. Going to work, everything. Oh my God, I gotta get up. Okay, shower. Okay, fuck that. I'll just spray myself with, what is that? The spray, the body spray. I forget. It was very popular. You go behind the counter in the candy store. So, fuck the shower. Like I get home early. I leave early. Work. I'll do a messy job. It's like, fuck, it's too hard. So everything's like you're running a marathon. This is a real disorder too. Now, this is, I think all laziness is just psychomotor retardation, and this is caused by depression. And and one of the causes is a benzodiazepine use and probably alcohol. Okay, so I start going to an outpatient clinic in Kew Gardens. Okay, now the outpatient clinic. So I'm staying at my sister's in Long Island. So, it's getting kind of expensive because, my sister's nice enough. She's lucky she works in Forest Hills, which is the next village over in Queens. And so she drops them off usually in the morning. Sometimes, I take the Long Island Railroad, which is like everything, expensive, $9.75 off peak too. And then I get to Hicksville, and then about half the time I usually catch a ride from my niece, who was very good during the whole experience. And so once in a while my brother was able to pick me up. Once in a while my brother-in-law, but half the time I had to take a cab, and just give like a $3 tip, so that became $15. Hopefully my sisters aren't watching this. And I'm still going to the outpatient clinic, and that's even not expensive. It's $20 co-payment, so but it's good in a way. I get out of the house Monday through Friday. So, I stay out of the house. And I managed to stay sober, which isn't hard, it's not really hard to stay sober. I'm on this drug Topamax, which is really good. I had some cravings, and because the Topamax ran out, my insurance company wouldn't pay for new Topamax. Life starts getting better. I meet new people, especially at the outpatient clinic. Now, when you get off alcohol, the sky is no longer gray. It's amazing. It's just like I was talking to a friend tonight, who I believe has a problem. He definitely has a problem. You're talking to him, he's slurring his words. He's drunk every day. He drinks at least like 5 or 6 beers. So he has a problem. I was telling him, I said, listen, I was telling him my experience, and I said, just try 2 weeks. Go 2 weeks without drinking, and you're going to see some wonderful changes. Your experience will be better. And I said to him, exactly what happened to me. The sky is no longer gray, Like even a blue sky, it looked gray, It's blue, Birds, they look beautiful. Like I saw it the other day, the weather has been warm in October and early November in New York. And I saw this bird I never saw before. Beautiful bird. It had some, it looked like a sparrow, but like a big sparrow. I mean, it was a mother sparrow, but no, but it's a really nice looking bird. You really appreciated it. And every day is like a sunny day. Even if it was cloudy, it wasn't too rainy, it wasn't too bad. It didn't bum me out. And when I was depressed and on my job, I would have suicidal thoughts at least 3 or 4 times a day. How can I kill myself? How would I do it? When would I do it? It was just a matter of when and how. Probably, couldn't do it because I was just a little too much of a wimp, which is probably a good idea. Sometimes, you don't want to fight someone too big. You want to fight a mixed martial artist. In reality, you get your ass kicked. So, that's probably a good thing. But the suicidal thoughts were there, and they were bad. Now, you might say, well, do you have them? And no, I really haven't had them anymore. So you might say, well, what have you been doing differently? And it's funny, I haven't been drinking. I've been on Klonopin, and and other drugs. So I think that's the reason. And I don't know. It's amazing. In 3 months, 3.5 months, I literally went from having suicidal thoughts 3 to 4 times a day, laughing at myself, how miserable I am, having suicidal thoughts all the time. Literally, I get home, I want to die. How can I do it? When should I do it? Just thinking continually about it, and then eventually threatening and being hospitalized, to now I'm not having them anymore. I do not have suicidal thoughts anymore. So it's amazing. Just getting off this alcohol and these drugs is amazing, life-changing implications. So if you're drinking and you've had the same things, try it. Especially not that bad, because you don't want the DTs. Then you need to be detoxed. Just try it, and I think you're gonna get a nice surprise. Okay, and another nice habit I started to happen. Instead of on the weekend, I would sleep till 1. I try to sleep as late as possible. I got up, I take Klonopin if I had. If I didn't have, I'd drink wine. I'd get up late at 11 and drink some more, go up, get some wine, drink. When the wine liquor store open, I'd go up. And then Arms Acres, so I got to be there at 10 o'clock. I'd actually try to show up half hour early so I could talk to people. Again, my motto is show up and show up on time. Here's another part, the Harvey McKay thing I talked about in an earlier podcast. Show up on time, have a plan, and put the plan into action, right? Okay, so those are the basis for my recovery. Okay, so through this getting clean, what have I learned, and what kind of since my brother, even though I almost ended up in the hospital again, my sister, and they gave me a gift, letting live with you for 1 day, 1 month and 18 days. So I want to give, people watching this podcast a gift. What are my tips for undoing depression? Okay, so first thing is get clean. If you have a substance abuse problem, which you probably do, okay, so I would say if you are really depressed, you probably have a substance abuse problem, right? Okay, I don't know. I mean, I gather there are people with some chemical imbalances, some PTSD, some traumatic that don't drink, could happen, So if you go to an outpatient or inpatient rehab and take it seriously, and a lot of people go to these places, they don't take it seriously. I see these guys come in, they're half stoned, their eyes are red, they're like, why go? Don't go. Keep taking drugs, but go take it seriously. Now, if you don't have a substance abuse, and again, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that there's anyone. I mean, to me, you have to have one. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, not often, but not to toot my own horn. You probably have a family such as codependence, child molestation. I said child molestation. Were raped, sexually assaulted. Instead, go to therapy. So if you don't have a substance abuse problem, you obviously can't go to rehab. So go to therapy instead. Okay, so go to and try to go twice a week or as many times as your insurance will pay for it. Okay, so get clean and clean. If you're a substance, get off the substances, and if you are not on a substance, clean your mind. Okay. Okay. Next thing, go to a psychiatrist and take the medication. Subscribe. Now, I've taken a medication called Cymbalta for 9 years, and it didn't work. But now I think it's working, and you know the reason it wasn't working? Alcohol and drugs. Now that I'm not taking it, I think it's working. Isn't that amazing? It's working finally. And I think one of the things they tell you is don't take drugs when you take the Cymbalta. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Don't take alcohol, I think. So I said, don't take alcohol, of course, and listen to the, always listen to another thing. I did a podcast, and, my life sucks and what you can do about it, and what you could do about it, I should have said, follow directions, always read the directions. How many times you opened up something and, you try to put it together or you didn't follow the directions, just take 10 minutes, just say 10 minutes, I'm gonna look over the directions, so if I just follow the directions, read them and follow the directions, this never would have happened, right? And many depressed people are hoarders. So if you are a hoarder, clean out your house or get a professional service to do it. Right? Okay, so I wasn't really a hoarder. I was just a drunk, and I just too lazy or the psycho motor retardation to clean out. I was kind of a hoarder, I'd have books, I'd just keep buying things and pile up, never throw anything in. Now I'm trying to be a minimalist, again, it's a fight, like anything else. I'm trying, like, and I was saying in an earlier podcast, people trying to shove stuff on me. Like, my friend came with all this clothing, and it's not there at the point, but little warning signs, there's always warning signs. Okay? Now, if you're in the beginning stage, this is good, especially if you're good saving money, and a lot of people are, I'm not. Save your money, and if you could, take a 3 to 6 month leave of absence from your job. And this is really important. And this was I was lucky enough to do. They basically said to me, sick leave, no pay. This is freaking, I don't know, it's fucking, I don't want to say anything bad about her, but she's doing a job. That's what they hired her for. Someone who could give bad news and, not scared to be punched in the face or whatever it is. Save your money and take a 3 to 6 month leave of absence from your job. So, save up, you got to say minimum of 3 months. If you could, 6 months. So 3 months, you say, well, how much expenses do I got? Maybe if you have a husband or a wife and you see if you could swing it, cut back on things, don't go out to eat, go to the soup kitchen like I do, coupons, all kinds of shit. But this, I think, is a must because, and especially if you have a job that you hate, right? Because you cannot get out of your depression if if your life is a disorder and you have a job you hate. So that was brewing with me. If you have that, okay, you must, and I think this is a good idea. Now you could, sort of think things over. Go to the rehab. If you don't have the rehab, you go to support groups and you take your time and, you reinvent yourself. It's so important, you get back to where you once belonged. There's the old Beatles song. So save your money and take a 3 to 6 month leave of absence. If you can, maybe you have children and you send them off to school and you go to work and, this might be a good time. You spend time with your children or something. Whatever it is. Clean your apartment every day. Do your mail every other day. Do your laundry once a week. Okay, I've been good with the laundry. The cleaning the apartment, only when my sister comes to inspect. Your mail the other day, I gotta work on that, okay? Not good. Don't let your bills pile up. Don't let your apartment get messy, especially you're a hoarder like me. So, yeah, that's really important, Keep on top of things, Not easy, but in the long run, you'll be a lot better off, It's the long run that counts, again, you got to say, well, what's the point where it's not worth, I'm stop enjoying life, as versus where this is going to really hurt me if I don't do this. So I think I have a plate I haven't washed, so that's kind of bothering me, and that's good. A little OCD never hurt anybody. Join a support group such as AA or whatever ails you. Go to these groups. Like for instance, let's say your child died or something very sad. They have support groups for these things, or you're an incest victim or molested as a child, whatever it is, and these are things that could bring on depression, of course. So you're a bully, that happened to me. Everyone has their thing, and some are more horrible than others, and and ugly. I'm an ugly person, so I wonder if they have a support group, Ugly Anonymous. Ugly Anonymous, maybe we'll start that, It's just funny when you're ugly, like you always think, maybe someone thinks I'm good looking, you go in, you're like, oh, I'm not that bad. Someone says you're good looking, a lot of people actually used to come up to me and say you're ugly, so what kind of shit is that? But, once in a while, I say, you look good today, I say, wow, maybe I'm not that bad looking. No, you are. I think once you can accept you're not a great looking person, it doesn't bother you. Like, it's funny, I was going to my, outpatient clinic, so for some reason I go, and they got these really good looking guys, it's like 6'5", 6'6", whatever, and he's like almost a foot taller than me. He's like handsome. I seem like a guy like this every fucking day, and I'm like, how can I compete with this guy? Like, what girl in the fucking world would choose me over him? People go, oh, no, the girls are not looking for this guy, and he has a good job. He's the DA's, the Queen's DA office, right in the same floor. Oh, they're not looking. They're looking for someone that cares about them. Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, maybe. Like they're really good-looking girls. They're looking for someone that cares about them. Yeah, they're not looking for a 6'6" guy. Protect them, have money. Good genes. Come on. I heard that bullshit so much. Okay, change careers or jobs if you can, or I should say, if that is the source of your problems. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm gonna try to become a mental health counselor. If you cannot change your careers, if your job is real bad, change your jobs, change the location of your jobs, move if you have to, do whatever you can, because if your job's 1/3 of your life, if your sleep is 1/3 of your life, if your free time is 1/3 of your life, you could do something about 2/3 of your life, but your job, you can't really do much about, People can tell you, oh, just grin and bear it, and you got these great benefits. No, great benefits don't matter. Great pay doesn't matter. If you're miserable, there's nothing someone can tell you. Just grin and bear it. You can retire. Sorry, that does not work. They don't have to go to your job. They don't know. They have no clue. They don't know. I mean, for all they know, you're shoveling shit. They can pay $100,000 to shovel shit, and they don't know what you're doing. They have no clue. Okay. And again, I was telling in the last podcast, and a little bit in this podcast, about my job, and maybe in the future I will just in detail talk about my job, why it's a shit store. It'd be good to bring back some memories, maybe not so good. Um, man, I don't know, I'll have to go, something at least 3 times a week. Oh yeah. Yeah, this fucking PowerPoint. It's a rookie. Yeah, I was just saying, join a support group, whatever you go. Go to these groups at least 3 times a week. So, it doesn't have to be AA, pick AA or any type of support group. When you take this time off, try to do it 3 times a week. Now you got social system. You might even get laid. I thought because I'm so inept. I mean, I could have probably got laid. I mean, 2 girls introduce themselves to me as fucking ugly as I am. Imagine if I was 6'6", and handsome, they'd be throwing myself at me. Okay, and the final bit of advice, and we close up at probably 31 minutes, so maybe a little more than 30. Develop a hobby and stick with it. I think I got a lisp. Develop a hobby and stick with it. For example, I do podcasting. So that's my hobby, and a lot of my relatives were complaining, you're doing podcasting, you'll be homeless. Those 3 words, or that's why I almost went to the mental hospital again. Develop a hobby and stick with it. So I love podcasting. No one watches my podcasts, but when I die, maybe someone out there, will discover them. The podcast of the great Jew atheist, and they'll discover them and they'll put them on YouTube and they'll have 100 million viewers. Yeah, you gotta get delusional about this, like no one's watching, and if they were forced to watch them, they'd probably kill themselves. But I can't take it no more. This guy's fucking boring. He's fucking delusional. So, all right, so let's end it there. Exactly, it's gonna be the third. I always like to. I'm so obsessive, compulsive. I like to end it exactly 32 minutes. Bye.